Tapped in. Keep the credit, I'ma get it on the back end. Kick rocks, cutting corners, trying to cash in. We still outside, high as gas is. Watch them force you to EV. Tried to cut me out, but you need me.
All right, what's up, guys? Back at you in another video on today. This is Raw Podcast. Make sure you hit the subscription button, subscribe to the channel, click on the bell so that you'll be notified whenever we put up an upload. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to talk about the end of Daniel Jones being a New York Giant. Now, we're going to talk about this because pretty much the New York Giants are crazy. Saquon Barkley was the face of the New York Giants. They decided to go with the quarterback and pay Daniel Jones instead of paying Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley should have been a New York Giant for life. He wanted to stay with the New York Giants, but the Giants pretty much said, hey, go out there and see what's out there, Saquon. See what type of deal that you can get. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles picked him up, and right now Saquon Barkley is leading the league in rushing, having a phenomenal season. Yeah, he's been had a couple injuries throughout his tenure with the Giants, but we all know that Saquon Barkley was the face of the New York Giants. Instead of them putting the money with Saquon, they decided to give the money over to Daniel Jones, which I thought that Daniel Jones was always a mediocre quarterback. Now, he had the phenomenal run when he took him to the playoff that season, so I'm going to give him his props for that. But Daniel Jones has been mediocre the whole entire time with the New York Giants. So by the Giants releasing him on today, it's just the end of the New York Giants, and his time with the New York Giants is over. You know, it's nothing that Daniel Jones did to make the team better. I mean, I thought even in this year's draft that the Giants should have drafted a quarterback instead of going with the wide receiver. They needed a quarterback. So hopefully this season, the Giants will go out and draft a quarterback. We know it's a lot of quarterbacks that's going to be coming out this season. But at the same time, man, you knew that it was going to come to an end. You knew that this was going to come to an end. It's just Daniel Jones has just been mediocre. We just got to keep it a hundo. We got to keep it a buck. That Daniel Jones is just not that good at quarterback. He's okay, but he's not that good. And I think from here on out, probably for the remainder of his career, he's probably going to end up being a backup quarterback. I don't see too many teams that is going to allow him to come in and start unless somebody gets hurt. Other than that, he's going to be, he does have experience, which is always a good thing. But at the same time, I don't see him as a starter no more in the NFL. I think that Daniel Jones is now going to be a legit backup journeyman quarterback for the remainder of his career. The Giants shouldn't have never let go Saquon Barkley. And now he's tearing it up with one of the best offensive lines in the NFL in the Philadelphia Eagles. I know that they wish they would have kept Barkley. They should have kept Saquon Barkley, man. So nobody, when you look at this whole scenario and this whole breakup with them losing Saquon and now Daniel Jones being gone, it's crazy, man. Just a few years later, both of these guys are out of New York. Now Daniel Jones has been released by the New York Giants, and then Saquon Barkley ends up getting a deal from Philly. You knew that somebody was going to sign Saquon. He's a talented running back, one of the best running backs in the National Football League, especially when he's healthy. Saquon brings it. And he should have always been a Giant. And for them not to pay him and wrestling with him on what type of money they should give him, just ultimately at the end of the day, hey, man, it is what it is. The Giants decided not to grab Saquon Barkley and pay him the money. They wanted to give it to Daniel Jones. And then they found out that Daniel Jones is not the man like they thought he was. And now you have to release him. And now eventually you're going to have to go out in the draft and go draft you a quarterback now. So we'll see what's going to happen with Daniel Jones. We'll see what team picks him up. I'm sure somebody will eventually pick him up, and he's going to pretty much be a backup quarterback for the remainder of his career. I don't see Daniel Jones being a starter unless someone gets hurt. That's the only time I think that Daniel Jones will get another opportunity at being a starting quarterback in the NFL. They should have never, ever got rid of Saquon Barkley. Even when I saw the video with the managers talking, and was just pretty much saying like, hey, let Saquon go out there and see what he can do as far as getting a deal. They shouldn't have never let that happen. The reason why people was coming to the New York Giants game is because they wanted to see one of the best running backs in football, and that's Saquon. Saquon was the face of that team, and now that he's going over to the Eagles, he's over there balling with those guys, and he's having one of his best seasons in the NFL. And shout out to Saquon for going out there and even balling against the Giants, showing them, hey, look, man, you guys should have never gave up on me. You gave up on me. The Eagles took me, and now I'm over here balling. And I know a lot of the Giant fans are, you're trying to boo Saquon. Why are you booing Saquon when the Giants wasn't loyal to Saquon? Why would you guys be booing Saquon when the Giants released this man, allowed this man to go to another team? You shouldn't have never, ever released Saquon Barkley. I don't think that it's fair to him that the fans was booing him because it wasn't his fault. He wanted to stay with the New York Giants. The Giants did not want to pay Saquon Barkley the money. So in other words, hey, you didn't want to pay the man. Somebody else decided to pay him. And now you see what he's doing. But when he came to the game, y'all should have took y'all heads off for him, man, because it wasn't the reason why he left the Giants was not because of him. It was because of the New York Giants not wanting to pay him. And they decided to give Daniel Jones that huge contract, and now we see how that's working. Now Daniel Jones is no longer a Giant, and Saquon Barkley isn't either. So get it together over there, New York. I'll be out of this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Tapped in, keep the credit, I'ma get it on the back end. Kick rocks, cutting corners, trying to cash in. We still outside, high as gas is. Watch them force you to EV. Tried to cut me out, but you need me. My value never shows up in the box score. A plus minus, they never could have accounted.